episode, whatever this is, of the Nerd Happening podcast. Brought to you in front of a live studio audience with two cats play fighting right next to us on the ground. Being relentless. Check out our Instagram to get more photos of the cats being ridiculous. Today we're going to talk about two of our favorite shows, both The Office and Parks and Rec. Two really long-running shows that are pretty similar. Yeah, it's either play fighting a little too close to the camera.
They just moved the camera, so I hope it's still good.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
Really, whatever. Anyway. Yeah. Sunny had him in a headlock. Anyway, back to the Palmcast, as they say. Yeah, I feel like the whole mock documentary was started by The Office, or at least made famous.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Parks and Rec kind of do that, where they don't have like an actual camera crew following them around like The Office does, and they let you know that it's a documentary, where Parks and Rec has little cutaways and talking heads every so often.
Yeah.
But they don't say that it's a documentary. So I don't know. It's almost like it wants to be, but it doesn't. And they start kind of slowly doing it less and less as the show goes on.
Yeah.
And I think they only started doing that because of The Office. They wanted to latch on to some of that popularity.
Well, yeah, I feel like, a lot of people say like, oh, Parks and Rec is like the off-brand of The Office. Like, a lot of people are against Parks and Rec, and I'm like, why? It's similar, but it's very different.
Yeah. It's still really good, too.
Yeah, I really like Parks and Rec.
I love Parks and Rec. Ron Swanson, the man.
There's a lot of good characters in general in there.
Yeah, I'm both of them, actually. Like, Michael Scott has such a weird arc to him, because at first he's kind of this weird boss who's just explosive and kind of an asshole, and he has no redeeming qualities. And they're being goofy. And then he kind of slowly becomes more sympathetic.
Yeah.
As you find out, he just wants friends, and he became management because he was so good at being a salesman. And then when he became that, he stopped being friends with everybody because he had to be management. Then it shows kind of like Phyllis and Stanley and Creed are the only couple people kind of left from his generation of salesmen.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else has left or found another job or got fired or whatever. And now he's not really friends with them. And he's not really friends with the new people either. He
wants to be, though.
Yeah.
But everyone just thinks he's, like, annoying.
Mm-hmm. He's trying way too hard.
Yeah.
There's little moments, even in the earlier episodes, like when Jim had his party, and they were doing the karaoke thing, and Michael gets up there, and he's doing a duet by himself, and Jim's like, all right, and then he gets up, does the duet with him. It was really nice. Mm-hmm. Just little things like that you see poke through. And Michael's, a lot of the times, he'll go really overboard with it or try to stretch it out too much. But sometimes like that, it's a nice moment.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec really doesn't have that kind of character. I think the closest analog to that would be, let me think. I want to say, probably Tom. Because Tom's really he wants to be popular and cool.
I think he wanted that at the very beginning, but then towards the end, he kind of he understood, like, hey, I'm going to be a businessman.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing with Michael Scott, because near the end, he stops caring as much about what other people think of him, and he's more, I'm going to marry Holly and have kids and do whatever I want.
Yeah, he got what he wanted, to have a family and kids.
Yeah, and Tom at first just wanted to dress cool, and he fought so hard to get that part of the shares of the snake hole
Yeah.
so he could have that VIP, but he was alone in it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. He slowly learns that, there's more to life than this, and he finds his girlfriend. I can't remember her name
Neither can I, but I liked her.
off the top of my head, and yeah, and then he really finds out what's important to him, because he even goes to, I think it was Chicago that she was at.
Yeah.
Went to Chicago for her basically, and kind of
With Andy.
yeah, and they were like, oh, I'm getting a house or something out here, or apartment hunting. Yeah, and then brought her back, kind of stole her away from her boyfriend in a way.
I think it was good in the long run because the boyfriend wasn't good.
I shouldn't say stole, more like a nudge,
Yeah.
because she was kind of leaning that way, but I think he put her over the edge.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I feel like Leslie Knope kind of wants to be loved, and
oh yeah, she does.
I feel like she's kind of more like Michael Scott versus Tom, to me anyway.
I think Tom is kind of an amalgamation of both of them. Tom and Leslie are kind of split off from Michael.
Yeah.
Because Leslie's really big grand gesture like Michael is, and obsessive, and will plan out, even though a lot of Michael's stuff that's planned out is really not beneficial in any way, like the whole him rigging up the string with the dummy to make it look like he was sleeping.
Yeah.
And Stanley's like, I'm leaving for more money. Like, he does little elaborate things like that, but they're never for anything good, whereas Leslie does elaborate stuff, really well thought out things for her job in the city.
Yeah.
And they're both really good at what they do, even though they're goofy. Things like that. And it's funny seeing Andy transition from just being
A couch potato to something.
yeah. Like, he really has that almost like a Cinderella story
Yeah.
coming from the back. And then, because a lot of his body transformation was because he was playing Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't like super ripped, he was still in way better shape than he was.
He went from being obese to
good shape.
good shape.
Yeah. Even if Rocket said he's one cheeseburger away from being fat or whatever in the Guardians movie.
Yeah, and I like how, who is it, Ron, who was just like, how'd you lose the weight anyways? And he's like, I just stopped drinking beer.
Yep.
It's like, oh, that's how you got muscles and became way better looking?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I mean, that kind of thing does help. If people are super hardcore alcoholics and drink it every day,
Well, yeah.
it's less calories they're taking in. So it works to a bit. There really isn't a April Ludgate analog in The Office. The closest would be Angela, because she's kind of an asshole to everybody, but at times can be nice, even though April's way nicer to a lot more people. That's the closest, and it's not even really that similar.
I don't feel like April's mean. I feel like I connect with April just because we constantly have that, like, attitude or whatever, but realistically, we're really softies and we'll do, like, anything for anyone.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't feel like Angela's anything like April.
April's mean at first because she hasn't out of her shell. And I think as the first season progresses, people start to get to know her more.
Well, she was also a kid.
Mm-hmm.
April's my favorite character.
But Angela starts to get more... She starts to get closer to people as the series goes on and starts being more friendly. It's more apparent at the very end, at the wedding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where they kind of let stuff, just things go, and she's still kind of a bitch, but she's less of one now.
Yeah.
At the end. Who else? There's no... Kevin doesn't really have a doppelganger, really. Where he's just the goofy.
I guess he's kind of like Andy, really.
He's kind of a mix of Andy and Jerry.
Yeah. Kind of forgot about Jerry.
The big oaf that everybody makes fun of that comes through when he really needs to.
Did you have a fart attack, Jerry?
That was funny. When Tom's like, I just want the doctor to say Jerry had a fart attack. Yeah.
Well, who do you think is like Anne?
Karen.
Because they're the
'Cause
same person.
I really wish they would have. I wish they could have. I don't know if they were on the same network. I don't think they were, but it would have been really cool if she went from The Office to Parks and been like a shared universe kind of thing.
Yeah, or just, yeah, I don't know what was first. Was that Office first?
Yeah, The Office came first.
Yeah. Well, I figured
Pretty
they kind of,
sure.
I feel like they went around the same time because she looks the same in both.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, she was probably doing.
I'm just saying she
Both
could have
of 'em.
easily been like Ann Perkins in The Office and Ann Perkins on the show because I kind of like Ann Perkins. The names just sound,
Perkins.
yeah.
Just because Rob Lowe was saying it over and over.
Yeah, who do you think's like Rob Lowe?
Chris Traeger. There really isn't anyone like that who's super upbeat and like super healthy and ridiculous. It's not really anybody, because The Office isn't really like that. The Office is, it's funny because everything they do is awkward and it feels real a lot of the time, like the social interactions. Yeah. Jim's like, because everybody does that at work at some point or another, where somebody does something stupid or says something stupid and you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that, or that was kind of messed up. Yeah, Chris Traeger doesn't really have an equivalent
I
on
don't
The
think
Office.
Leslie Knope's future husband does
Ben
either.
Wyatt?
Yeah, but I couldn't think of his name. I don't think he's got anyone either.
Not really. Like, he's nerdy like Dwight is, but he's more sociable like Jim. Like,
Yeah.
he has more of the people skills and nerdiness of Dwight, but he has more of he has a better, I guess, hairstyle, fashion sense closer to Jim. Because Dwight,
Not very fashionable though.
no, he gets there though eventually.
know.
But like, as far as like Dwight just kind of having that plain goofy haircut,
You're just saying he's fashionable because he wore that Batman suit.
yeah, that was pretty sweet too.
That was sweet.
And he just starts crying. He's like, I always wanted this. He unplugs the router at the end. He's just wearing it around. I do that. I really regret not buying that life-size Batman from FYE.
Mm-hmm.
It was only $1,000. I should have bought it. I'd have put that like somewhere over there in the corner, or
We've
somewhere
only
over.
collected dust.
I know. It'd been cool. I might have been off camera though somewhere, maybe for a different set if we start up another channel. It'd be badass. We have it down here in the basement, and people who've never been down here, I'd set it like right here because our door is right over here.
Just to scare him.
Yeah, and they come in like, it's Batman. Or they just see like a human shaped silhouette in the dark. That'd have been great. I should have done that. Maybe it'll still be there. They had something else there too. They had a Wonder Woman, and they had one other person.
I can't remember, but I know.
Yeah, it wasn't a superhero though, but I don't remember who it was. But yeah, Ron Swanson's kind of a mix of Dwight and I think
David Wallace.
a little bit David Wallace, yeah, and Stanley. Where he's really outdoorsy and resourceful like Dwight, and he's somebody you want on your apocalypse team. But he's also like Stanley, where he's like, leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
But he's David Wallace too, where he's really generous.
Yeah.
He is like Leslie's the main character and the main focus of a lot of stuff, and it seems like she gets a lot done through like government work and doing all this, but she really doesn't. The one who propels everybody forward is Ron, and he does it on his own dime. Like, he paid for Andy to go to college and things like that. He gave Andy and April, basically gave them one of his many cabins up north kind of thing.
One of
out
his
in the
4
woods.
cabins.
Yeah, maybe more. We don't know. for like a button and I don't know, some beef jerky or something. I can't remember what
Yeah,
it was.
it was something ridiculous.
Whatever she had in her pocket. Just things like he gave Tom startup money for his business. Really encouraged him for that. Yeah, he's honestly the real mover, the real hero of Parks and Rec, where Leslie really doesn't do much.
Well, I think Leslie's more like emotional support,
Mm-hmm.
and Ron is more financial support.
Well, even then, Ron.
I mean, he does both,
Yeah.
but realistically, Leslie's gonna be like your cheerleader the whole way.
Mm-hmm. I think she's a good stand-in for a lot of people where she really, a lot of the time, she tries to hold people back because she has that Michael Scott, I don't want people to leave me kind of thing.
I think that she does get past that, though.
Oh, she does by the end. Then she has to realize everybody, because almost everybody leaves. Even she leaves eventually. And that's why Ron leaves, government, because he's like, oh, I looked up and nobody I knew was there. And that's why he went to go ask Leslie for a job, and then they got in that whole Morningstar incident. And had like half a season of them fighting.
Yeah, and at first you're like, what the hell's going on?
Yep. Oh, I feel like The Office has more funny little antics that feel real compared to Parks and Rec 2. Like the parkour thing. Where they were just running around the office, just not really doing much, but making a mess. Then Andy jumps off and hurts himself.
Yeah, I love that.
Or when Andy punches through the wall and has to go to anger management. But I wonder if he did that, if they did that for him to get off the show. I wonder if he was doing a movie, like The Hangover or something.
Who knows?
Or some movie. I don't know. Steve Carell was also, I think he just did the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Right before The Office, I think. So he was the only one he was one of the few people that real, like, big Hollywood fame, stardom.
Yeah.
Except Creed, who was in the Grassroots. His real name is Creed Bratton. And him, one of their karaoke episodes, he was singing a Grassroots song. Like he was doing his part in the song. Yeah. So
what do you like more?
The Office.
So do I.
I definitely like The Office better. Yeah, for anyone who didn't know, we met Leslie David Baker and Brian Buckner. I can't pronounce his last name. Brian was really cool. Really spent time with us. Like an extra minute or two. We got him ask him a few questions and was really nice. Just like, hey, what's up? Kind of like a mini hangout.
Yeah, he was nice.
Yeah. Leslie, on the other hand, pretty much didn't look up at me and just wrote eat pretzels and put his name on the thing and was like, here you go.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really...
Because he started writing before you said what you wanted. And then you're like, hey, can you write...
Have you lost your damn mind or something?
Yeah, you wanted something like that. And he's like, I've already started writing.
Yeah,
he just kept going. I was like, oh, okay.
He straight up said, nope. And he wrote something.
Yeah, he said, I've already started writing. Like,
yeah.
He legit said that. And I was just like,
Kind of a dick. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have just been a bad day for him.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would have necessarily felt good. Like if he has... I mean, everyone wants to be liked, but you when you see Kevin's line and it's like overflowing out of the line, and then Leslie, there was no one in line for him. You just walked in, and they were right next to each other. So I feel like, I don't know, not saying that I wouldn't be nice to my fans. I would kind of be like, why am I not liked like Kevin?
A little bit of jealousy.
Yeah,
it could have been. Maybe. I don't know. Or it just could have been a bad day where he was just, I'm over today. I've been here. I was here all yesterday. I've been touring around. I don't know. I like to give him the benefit of the doubt of that. Or maybe he's just an asshole. Who knows?
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's so many big moments in each. There is a lot of character growth for everybody in both series.
Oh yeah, if you watch the first episode versus the last episode, and I'm talking about the last episode with Michael Scott, like it's way different versus, the first episode. Same with Parks.
Yeah, and every first season of every show, you kind of have to, you just have to bear through it.
Yeah, because the first season of both of them are awful.
They're not awful. They're just not as good as the other ones.
They're pretty bad. Like, I went to rewatch Parks and Rec, and that, like, I don't even know how many episodes, but all of those episodes, I was like, how did I make it through this? Because it was awful.
Yeah, you can definitely see the hair and makeup is not as good. Things like that.
I'm just talking about in general. Like, Leslie Knope in the beginning is so awkward and so weird. And, towards she was always kind of different. But then once you get farther in, she really does grow into just being
who she'll be.
Yeah, a great person.
Yeah, that's true. And it's just, it's writing as it progresses. The characters get more flushed out. Everybody gets more adjusted to who they are on set and better acquainted with their people they work with. Mm-hmm. Like on The Office, Angela Kinsey was even saying she already knew Oscar Nunez, ahead of time, so it was kind of comforting for her to have somebody she knew. Same thing with Brian. And they were all accountants, and I think they knew each other from other stuff they'd done. Mm-hmm. Even though they weren't full-time members of the cast at that point. They were just
fill-ins.
They were not fill-ins, but they were paid by they didn't have contracts.
Yeah, because they didn't have contracts until they spoke, right? Or something like that.
No, because they had some speaking lines, but they didn't have it until after the first season.
Because that's how Creed did his.
Yeah, no, that's how he got paid.
Yeah.
Paid more instead of just an extra. Because they had him speak, and he's like, no, that's fine, I'll speak. Just kind of worked his way in, and that's kind of I think that's what saved him being cut from the show.
Yeah, because I do believe that Creed and the one guy,
Devin.
Yeah, I do believe it was in between them.
It was. That's what he said on the Office Lady podcast.
Yeah.
He's like,
and
somebody
I'm
had to go.
so glad they kept Creed.
Oh, yeah. Creed's awesome.
A lot of people don't like Creed because they're like, he's a pointless character. And I'm like, I don't really feel that way. I love Creed because the random bullshit that he does is just great.
Yeah, there's always somebody like that, you work with. They don't have to make sense. He just is. And he wasn't like that at first.
Yeah, he was normal at first.
Yeah, because in like the first season when they were going between the two, Creed kind of mentions like doing it like the old days in a lot of episodes too. Kind of mentions time being there before, but then he alludes to like being a homeless man before he got this job, and he doesn't even know what he really does. It's kind of funny to see that. Same thing with Kevin, where at first he's just kind of slow and talks real slowly like this. Like he's not dumb, he's just really shy and awkward and doesn't know what to do. And then he turns into like full on Kevin being like goofy, and you're like, is he handicapped or something? Like
I love when Holly thought he was handicapped.
He is mentally handicapped. He's like, you think I'm retarded? And she's
love
like,
that.
oh. Yeah, it was great.
That had to be like, I don't know. That had to be embarrassing for both sides. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It was hilarious, and I love that BJ Novak and like Mindy were writers for most of the episodes.
God, I hated both of those characters. I'm sorry, I just do. I hate Kelly and I hate Ryan. I just do.
Ryan's that He's kind of like the character you see. At first, he's kind of meant to be you, like the audience member, where he goes to a job, people are really weird, he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know anybody, and people are just making jokes and stuff around, getting hazed. And he's like, I hate my job, but I need it for now. And then he slowly turns into this like hardcore asshole that nobody likes.
It's not even like the asshole. It's the fact that he's seriously the guy that the boss loves, that never does nothing. Like, he just sits there, burns out the time on the clock, and then she's like, all right, sweet, I'm going. And the boss is always like, you're the best. That's why I hate him, because there's always those people at work.
At first, he wasn't like that, though. So at first, he was like more like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And then things start slowly where he's like, yeah, nobody really works around here.
I mean, everyone was working, but they were just
half-assing it.
They were having fun while they were working.
Yeah.
Well, I think what happened is he realized Michael Scott's love for him and was just like, yeah, he's a very insecure person. I could so take advantage of this.
Yeah.
By always saying, yeah, we'll hang out sometime or whatever, because Michael wanted to hang out with him so bad. So I think he just took advantage of the situation because Michael was like a little kid in a way.
And Dwight was that way with Michael, or Michael kind of strung Dwight along quite a bit until Dwight stops caring at a certain point.
I think Michael enjoyed hanging out with Dwight, but then when Ryan came along, he's like, whoa, that's actually a cool kid.
Yep, because they talk about like watching kung fu movies and stuff together. Watching Armageddon, where Dwight cried and he's like, I didn't cry, I only cried because it snowed on Christmas at midnight.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
The snowball episode.
Oh, I love that. I love the classy Christmas part 1 and 2. Jim brings in that snowball and starts it, and Dwight just mercilessly pummels him. That was great.
You love that episode.
Oh yeah, I love both of them, 1 and 2. It's great. But yeah, switching back over to Parks and Rec. Yeah. Leslie Knope does have a big shift in her character too, where she has to kind of learn. She has to learn that things take time, because she was the parks, deputy director of the parks, and she got certain things done really quickly because they were very small scale. Except her project of trying to clear out that lot and make it into a park.
Which, it took forever.
Yeah, it took the entire series until the very end where it became a park. And then
when Ann Perkins wasn't even there to enjoy it.
Yeah, but she still wanted just to do it. She was committed. But when she starts getting higher up in government and running for stuff, became a city council and other things, and she put in some proposal to like the state governors or whatever, state council or whatever it was, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but she had like a really fast track plan of like a year or two to get something done, and the one lady, I don't know, she was some government official, was like, yeah, you're gonna need at least 10 years to get this done. That's if you can get it done. And she's like, what? No, I have a system. And like, we all have systems. That's not how this works. So she had to she kept a lot of the spirit of her ideology and getting things done that people need, but she kind of had to grow up and realize that things take time and not everybody is enthusiastic and about what you want to do.
And not everyone's going to work hard like she does either.
Because even Tom was pretty lazy until he started really realizing that he could do a lot on his own and do well, and that would also help network him, because that's why he got into government. That's what he said. So help network him in his own personal financial endeavors.
Well, we got to talk about the best character in Parks and Rec.
Who's that?
You want to guess?
Aubrey Plaza.
No.
Avril Lavigne.
Well, yes.
Little
but
Sebastian.
Little Sebastian.
Yeah, that was definitely one like long running joke that was hilarious. Little Sebastian. Even Ron Swanson cried when he died. Burned off his eyebrows lighting that torch.
And I love Ben Wyatt, who was just like, I don't get it. But everyone was just like, Little Sebastian, yeah.
He's a pony. No, he's a miniature horse.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I finally get it. And then clicks away and he's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Yeah, that was great. Then they had that little Sebastian look-alike, and it was like Leslie's sign, had the light over it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. There's a lot of good moments on that show.
There really is. On both shows, there is a lot. It's hard to cover everything in just one podcast. It'd be something like we'd really have to go through every episode, or at least season by season. Yeah.
All I got to say is I don't understand why everyone was so mean to Jerry all the time. Jerry was such a good character. He was kind-hearted. He was just a very nice, great man.
Yeah,
and then,
was.
you know, when you see him at home with his family, how he's like the hero, the strong man, you know, this and that. And Leslie's like, what the hell is going on? Like,
am I not an alternate universe?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like everyone gave him a hard time, and I hated it.
Yeah, he kind of knew he had to be the focal point of that, though. Because when Ben was like, Jerry's a good guy, he's like, no, don't do that. And a lot of people had that kind of similar interaction with him, where they realized how much of a good person he is and all that. But they're still like, yeah, I'm still going to make fun of you. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's what everybody needs.
Yeah, I guess.
Everybody needs that outlet. But he already had such a great life and like a perfect family that he didn't really care. Because, you know, everybody else was not as happy as him. And that's what he could do for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's probably the most, out of both series, he's the most selfless character.
Mm-hmm. He's such a good character. He's a good character. I love him.
He is. I kind of wish Parks and Rec had, well, they kind of do. I was going to say a Todd Packer. I guess that'd be John Ralphio, your favorite character.
Nope.
Just come in and sing right up next to you. And I love that Henry Winkler was their dad. The Fonz. It was great. But he was also, he's kind of a marker for Tom. And that Tom was just like him. But then you can start to slowly see the differences.
Where Tom sees...
He needs to work hard.
Yeah, and he sees John Ralphio not doing much.
Mm-hmm. Just taking the easy route
Mm-hmm.
for money, where Tom really knows he needs to lay down a foundation. And even Ron sees that, and he's like, yeah, I don't care about your business plan. He's like, I know you're serious, and you're going to do this. So here's your investment. That was a really good, I really like that episode. It was a good moment. Mm-hmm. Good development for Tom. Yeah, in a lot of ways, Donna was kind of like Creed, really mysterious. That's kind of that mysterious element of a character, because you don't really know much about her.
Yeah, I guess.
Because no one really knew where she lived. Or she's like, oh, I got a hot tub. She's like, you got a hot tub or jacuzzi? Like, yeah, my place there. And you live there? And like, no, that's just one of my extra houses or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donna was a good character, too.
And she was. Real caring. Real fierce. Yeah. Although Creed was literally insane and was arrested at the very end.
I don't remember that.
When he had the big beard.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was kind of a cool send-off where they had him playing his guitar, singing a song, because he basically missed his office family. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like his last little ballad to them before they took him off to jail. And I still want to see a spin-off series of Creed and his brother breaking him out of prison, and his brother being played by Michael Keaton. That'd been great.
It would be.
like the Bratton Boys. It'd be a funny side quest. Yeah. Although there was that, they must have been on the same network because they had that clip of, it was like a crossover of The Office and Parks and Rec. You ever see that? We'll have to watch it. Where like Tom's at the office and stuff. They must have had Breaking Bad on the same network because the guy played Jesse in Breaking Bad because they were dealing meth. Creed's like, "Oh, my meth guy's here. He's here," and he's like, "Shoot, go down, man."
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we're gonna watch that for sure after this. It was pretty funny. So I don't know why they didn't do a crossover at some point. That'd have been really cool.
Who knows?
They could have made a funny joke like, "You really look like this girl Karen I know."
Yeah. That'd have been funny.
Yeah, that'd have been great.
And then Ann Perkins like, Pam's a bitch. Pam's kind of a bitch.
That'd been great. Or Pam would have been like, "Man, I really love Karen. They're really making good friends." Like how it could have been.
Nope.
You just don't like Karen because Karen's not Pam. That's all it is.
I don't like Karen because Karen's not a good person.
She's just not Pam.
She's
didn't do
not a
anything
good
wrong.
person.
She didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, she did.
What'd she do? Sonny's coming to join us, give his opinion on The Office. Kitty kitty. Yeah, this is what we deal with every day and at night. Sonny trying to be in the spotlight. He's on the table for anybody listening. Not watching on YouTube like you should be. Giving us sweet subscribers.
Well, people that listen instead of watching, that means they're just working or doing stuff that they can't sit down and watch. So it's nice that they're choosing to listen.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, guys. But yeah, after we're definitely gonna have to, when we're done watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because we've been watching that quite a bit. We'll have to revisit a lot of this and talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because that has a lot of characters in it, and some people from The Office and Parks in it too.
There's all kinds of characters in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Office did kind of go downhill after Steve Carell left. There were a couple episodes that I really liked.
I hated The Office with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
God, I couldn't say his name for so long. That's what it did. I was like, eh.
I really wish they could have got Paul Rudd in there, because it would have had the whole cast of Anchorman in. But they didn't. So that kind of, disappointing. But they had Paul Rudd on Parks and Rec. Little buddy cat. Being Bobby, what's his name? Who ran against Leslie. And at first won, but then there was a recount, and then she won. I can't think of his last name. Bobby something. But he was the son of the guy who was in charge of that Sweetums factory.
Yeah, Bobby. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Bobby Newport.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it was. Bobby Newport.
Stop. He's getting feisty now.
Yeah, he's getting real agitated. He just loves the attention, though. It's probably nice and cool on this table. Down in the bat cave here. Oop. All right, Sonny. That's enough. Calm down, Sonny. Calm down. Calm down. Hey, calm down.
Just leave him alone.
All right. Anything else you want to cover?
Nope.
No? I guess we'll make this a short little podcast, only about 40 minutes or so. We've about cut out about 5 minutes of the banter at first. Our little flubs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll make a blooper reel one day. Oop. But yeah, like, share, subscribe. Share to your friends. Tell them what's up. And I'll leave your comments down below. What you might want to hear us talk about next, or if you have any disagreements about, or just something to add to the conversation, throw in the comment section down below, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Sunny says bye too.